20,000 years ago, long before written history, long before cities, kings, or empires, something massive may have been built deep in what is now Texas. Not a campfire ring, not a simple shelter, but a structure so large, so deliberate, that if proven true, it would completely rewrite what we believe about prehistoric humans in North America, buried beneath layers of soil, erosion, and time. This discovery challenges one of the strongest assumptions in archaeology, that advanced construction was impossible during the Ice Age. What if the people we call primitive were capable of far more than we ever imagined? And what if the evidence has been under our feet all along? This story begins not with legends or myths, but with stone. In the late 20th century, unusual rock formations were discovered stretching across parts of Texas. At first glance, they appeared heterogynous, another product of erosion and geological pressure. But as researchers and independent investigators looked closer, patterns began to emerge. The stones were aligned, repeated, stacked in ways that seemed intentional. And most unsettling of all, the structure appeared to run 4 miles beneath the surface, forming what some believe is a gigantic prehistoric wall. If this wall truly dates back 20,000 years, it would place its construction during the last Ice Age, a time when humans in North America were thought to live exclusively as small, nomadic hunter-gatherer groups. According to mainstream history, these people had no reason, no tools, and no social structure capable of building large-scale stone architecture. And yet, the wall exists, or at least, something very much like it does. Before we go further, understand this. Stories like this are not easy to tell. They require deep research, careful wording, and respect for both evidence and uncertainty. Our team works incredibly hard to bring you serious documentary content like this. If you value real historical mysteries and want us to keep going, please take a moment to subscribe and like this video. Your support directly motivates us to continue uncovering stories that challenge what we think we know. The alleged wall was first noticed during geological surveys and construction projects, where heavy machinery exposed long lines of stacked stone buried beneath sediment. Workers reported encountering stone alignments that slowed digging and didn't behave like normal bedrock. When examined, these stones showed signs of placement rather than random fracture. Some segments appeared almost vertical, others slightly angled, but consistently aligned over long distances. Supporters of the wall hypothesis argue that nature does not typically produce such uniform, linear stone structures across vast areas. They point out that the stones appear fitted together, sometimes with smaller rocks acting as wedges, something commonly seen in human-built stone walls around the world. If correct, this would suggest not only planning, but also a shared construction method passed down through generations. The most controversial claim is the age. Dating estimates often point to around 20,000 years ago, based on the sediment layers above the stones and nearby organic material. That date is explosive. It places the wall thousands of years before the accepted timeline of advanced human activity in the Americas. Even more shocking, it suggests that humans may have organized labor, territorial boundaries, or defensive strategies during a period we consider technologically simple. But not everyone agrees. Many geologists argue that the wall is a natural formation, an exposed edge of fractured limestone shaped by tectonic forces, erosion, and pressure over tens of thousands of years. Texas sits atop complex geological systems, and nature is fully capable of producing formations that look artificial to the untrained eye. From this perspective, the wall is nothing more than a coincidence, amplified by human imagination. Yet this explanation does not fully satisfy everyone. Critics of the natural formation theory ask a simple question. Why does this structure maintain such consistency across such distance? Why does it appear to change direction in ways that resemble human planning rather than geological fracture? And why do some sections seem repaired or reinforced, as if altered after initial construction? What makes this mystery even more unsettling is how little public attention it has received. No massive excavations, no primetime documentaries, no definitive studies released to the public. Instead, the wall exists in fragments, photos, reports, testimonies, and scattered academic debate. Some believe the topic is avoided because it threatens established historical models. Others argue there simply isn't enough evidence to justify deeper investigation. But history has shown us something important. Many discoveries once labeled impossible were later proven real. Ancient cities buried under jungles, advanced engineering and civilizations once dismissed as primitive. Human migration timelines rewritten again and again. Every major shift in historical understanding began as an uncomfortable idea. If this wall is artificial, it raises disturbing questions. Who built it? Why was it built? Was it defensive, territorial, or symbolic? Did it mark the boundary of a forgotten culture, one erased by climate change, rising seas, or extinction? And if such a culture existed, what else did it leave behind? At these days, we are standing at the edge of what is known. The evidence is incomplete, the debate unresolved, but the implications are too large to ignore. A 20,000-year-old wall in Texas would mean that human history in North America is far older, more complex, and more advanced than we are taught. This is only the beginning of the story. In the next part, we will examine the scientific arguments in detail, the dating methods used, the strongest counter, and why this discovery, Leo or not, continues to divide experts. Because sometimes, the most dangerous discoveries are not the ones that are wrong, but the ones that force us to admit how much we still don't know. The mystery deepens when we begin to examine how scientists and researchers have tried to determine the true nature of the buried structure in Texas. Part 2 does not ask what might be true, but how we can possibly know, because in archaeology and geology, claims are not proven by imagination, but by methods, dating techniques, material analysis, and patterns that can withstand skepticism. And this is where the story becomes far more complicated. One of the most important questions is age. How could anyone claim that a massive stone structure is 20,000 years old? Researchers point to the sediment layers covering the stones. In several exposed sections, the wall lies beneath thick layers of compacted soil that contain isogyra material. Organic remains found above these stones, such as ancient plant matter and fossil fragments, have been radiocarbon dated to roughly 20,000 years ago. The logic is simple. If the wall was buried by sediment over time, then it must be older than what rests above it. But this method only provides a minimum age, not absolute proof of construction time. Critics argue that sediment can move, shift, and redeposit over thousands of years. Flooding, erosion, and seismic activity can bury natural rock formations rapidly, making them appear far older or more deliberate than they actually are. Texas has experienced dramatic environmental changes since the Ice Age, including massive floods that could have rearranged geological layers. From this perspective, dating the soil does not date the wall itself. Still, there is another detail that refuses to go away. In multiple locations, the stones appear to be set on a base layer, rather than simply fractured from bedrock. Some stones sit upright, with smaller rocks beneath them acting as supports. This is not typical behavior for naturally broken limestone. Engineers who have examined photographs and site reports have pointed out that the load distribution resembles human-made stone walls found in ancient cultures across the world. Then, there is the matter of continuity. The structure does not appear as a single, isolated section, but as multiple connected segments stretching for miles. In some areas, it curves. In others, it changes direction abruptly. Natural faults usually follow predictable geological stress lines, yet this structure seems to defy that expectation. Supporters of the artificial wall theory argue that this suggests planning, perhaps even surveying long before such skills were believed possible in North America. Another unsettling aspect is tool marks. While rare and disputed, some stones show straight-edged fractures that do not resemble natural weathering. These markings are faint and heavily eroded, making interpretation difficult. Skeptics say they are coincidental breaks. Others argue they could be the remnants of stoneworking techniques lost to time. If even a small percentage of these marks are intentional, the implications are enormous. To understand why this discovery is so controversial, we need to understand what it threatens. Modern archaeology is built on a timeline. According to that timeline, humans entered the Americas around 15,000 years ago, possibly earlier, but not in large, organized populations. Monumental construction is believed to have begun thousands of years later. A 20,000-year-old wall would shatter this framework completely. This is why mainstream institutions approach the topic with extreme caution. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Without large-scale excavation, peer-reviewed studies, and undeniable proof, the wall remains classified as an anomaly rather than a discovery. Funding for further research has been limited, and without funding, progress stalls. Some see this as suppression. Others see it as scientific responsibility. But here's the most important point. History does not change all at once. It changes slowly, painfully, and often against resistance. The idea that Ice Age humans could organize labor, transport heavy stone, and construct long defensive or territorial structures is uncomfortable because it forces us to confront our own assumptions. We prefer simple ancestors. We prefer clean tech, but the past is rarely simple. If this wall was not built by humans, then nature has created one of the most convincing imitations of human architecture ever discovered. And if it was built by humans, then an entire chapter of prehistory is missing from our textbooks. A culture with purpose, structure, and collective effort would have existed and vanished long before written memory. This leads to the most haunting question of all. What happened to the people who may have built it? The end of the Ice Age was violent. Rising temperatures, melting glaciers, massive floods, and ecological collapse wiped out entire species. It is possible that human cultures vanished as well, leaving behind only stone silent, buried, and misunderstood. At T's point, the wall stands as a challenge rather than a conclusion. It asks us whether we are willing to investigate without prejudice, whether we are brave enough to accept that human history may be far deeper than we are comfortable admitting, and whether the truth matters, even when it disrupts everything we thought we knew. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about real mysteries and serious investigation. Our team puts immense effort into crafting research-based documentaries like this. Please subscribe and like the video. It genuinely helps us continue this work. And if you want part 3, where we explore global parallels and other ancient structures that challenge the official timeline, comment below. Your comment may be highlighted in the next episode.